Hey guys, not too long ago, the company, I can't talk today. I don't know what it is. Hey guys, today, all right, let's make, hey YouTube, today what we're gonna do is we're gonna review a new company. This company is called Yamatic, and it's a Chinese company. They sell a lot of their products on Amazon. You'll see them all around. They happen to notice one of the videos I did for the Ryobi power washer, and there was an Uberflex 50-foot hose that was in that video. And they said, Rob, why don't you test our 25-footer? We have something that's very similar, that's a lot less expensive. We'll send it out to you with the nozzles, with a turbo nozzle, and you could try it out and see what you think. They sent it out to me. I'm gonna try it out today. So let's take a spin. Let's talk about this a little bit, review the pricing, kind of review all those products, and all that information will be down below. I'll give you all the links for everything, including the Uberflex, so you could see the price differences. But we're gonna get right into it and see how they compare, and then you guys can make an educated decision. This is Talking with Cars. All right guys, so let's start off by, I guess first thing we should do is review the Uberflex. Just to give you an idea of this hose, this is a 50-footer, but you can get them in 25-foot hoses or lengths. And the one thing to remember is the Uberflex hose is kind of like the pinnacle. That's what everyone kind of tries to compare themselves to. That's why when Yamatic saw that I had the Uberflex hose, they said, why don't you try ours out? It's a lot less expensive, and you can get more for your money. So that's why I was kind of intrigued with their product. I wanted to try it out anyway. But this is the Uberflex hose. It's typically in blue. I don't believe they have any other colors. I'll double check that. But you can see how flexible this is. It doesn't really kink. I mean, it kinks if you go, 360 on it. I think any hose would. But it doesn't have memory. It goes right back to its original position. And it's really kind of easy to use. It's well built. It's got the protectors at the ends, so it doesn't kink at the ends where it mates up with your gun power washer itself. But they are pricey. I mean, these Uberflex hoses go for a 25, just to put things in perspective, a 25-foot hose Uberflex off of Amazon, 1/4 inch, is $36.97. It does not come with any quick connects or anything like that. It's just the hose itself. That's the pricing that everyone's comparing to. That's what everyone's trying to compete against. I had to go out and buy the quick connects for the Uber hose. This little packet right here is also from Amazon. This was a company called Twinkle Star. I didn't make up the name, but it's $31.99. So together, the 25-foot Uberflex hose, along with the quick connects, is a total of $68.96 on Amazon. So in comparison, Yamatic sent me basically the hose, and we'll take a look at that. And it comes with the quick connects also. That comes with the hose when you purchase the hose. So that's a bonus. This is the hose itself. Let's open this up. Cute little ribbons to tie the hose together. That was pretty cool. Kind of shows a little bit more of a premium feel to it. Okay, so this is the hose. A little bit of a different feel. I mean, obviously Uber hose is going to have their own proprietary mix, their own chemical, whatever they're using in their hose. So it's not going to be exactly the same. These guys are going to actually kind of just create something that matches, that competes against them. It's less expensive and very available because it's all on Amazon. It does seem to flex pretty good. Let's look at the kinking. Very similar, almost identical. It bounces back. I don't see any memory there. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty decent hose. I mean, it says here 3,200 PSI max. The pressure washer I have is 3,100 PSI, so this is perfect. 220 bar, maximum 140 degree Fahrenheit. So it's really not meant for hot water, it's really cold water. Keep away from hot surfaces. I mean, it's got nice brass fittings at the end. It looks like it's heavy on the ends. Let's try to compare the two side by side, right? They both look very similar. I mean, this kind of looks a little heavier duty actually, so that's not bad. This is so it's protected and doesn't kink at the ends and damage the connection. And honestly, a 25-foot length for a home power washer is the perfect length, because then you have to worry about filling up the entire hose with water before you actually start using it. That was actually a downside to the 50-footer, the Uberflex that I had. So this works out really well. So I can't wait to try this. They did send me the nozzles. That comes along with the packet, along with the quick connects and a turbo nozzle. Actually, the turbo nozzle and the nozzles, that was an additional $19.99. But let's put things in perspective. The hose itself is $29.69 on Amazon. This packet right here, the turbo nozzle tip, and these nozzles right here with the different degree nozzles, that was $19.99. So together it's $49.68. This entire setup right here is $49.68. And in comparison, it's $68.96 for the connections and the Uberflex hose. So it's getting close. I mean, this is you're talking a $20 difference, you know, so you really have to decide what's more important to you. Is the economy more important to you? Is it where it's made is important to you? Is it, you know, the color that's important to you? Is it the extra nozzles and stuff that you get with this, and the connections that you get with it? I don't know. I mean, we're gonna try this out real quick and see how it goes. I have a good feeling that this is gonna be a pretty decent unit. So let's just put everything together. I'll put the quick connects on there, get it on the Ryobi power washer, and try it out. And I'm also, now when putting the quick connectors together, these have O-rings on them. So in theory, you shouldn't have to put any thread tape around the thread. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually just screw this in and just tighten this up and make all those connections and rely on the rings that are inside each of these connectors. I'm going to be using the 25-degree green nozzle. And I was comparing the two nozzles that I had, the existing ones and these new ones. And these are identical. And one thing I noticed right away is the fact that this hose is really kind of nice. It's fluid. It just moves really nice. It's easy to navigate back and forth. Yeah, so far so good. I'm gonna take out all the air from the hose because it's a brand new hose. So I did get some leaking from this quick connector. So what I'm going to do is put some Teflon tape around that. I believe that's where the water is coming from. So I'm going to put Teflon tape on there, a few rolls of it, and see how that helps. Alright, so I'm having issues with the quick connects that came with that hose. The hose I don't really have an issue with, and the nozzles I don't have an issue with. It's really, what's going on is there's a little bit of leaking. It's not an extraordinary amount, it's not a big deal. You're going to be wet anyway, and a couple drips from the end of the connector is not a big deal. But if you want perfection, and you want to compare yourself to perfection, got to make sure all these connections and stuff are working perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the end of that connector with the quick connects that came with that purchase that I made on Amazon from that other company. So I'm going to swap that out and see if that makes a difference, and then give it another shot. I don't see any leaking at the connector that's at the pressure washer itself, so it might just simply be the one at the wand. So let's just swap that out with another one and see if that helps. So I ran out of Teflon tape, so I didn't put any Teflon tape in any of these locations. So with the new connectors all connected and ready to go, let's give it a shot. It's not the quick connects, I think it's the hose. So we're going to try a different hose and see if it still leaks. Alright, so final thoughts. Power washing hose. I think it's a good hose. However, there's something wrong with the ends. And I had to revert back to the Uberflex hose that did not cause any leaks. Now, was it a large leak? No, it was just at the connection, and it's probably the seal that's inside the hose end is not wide enough, is not big enough to be able to create a more snug fit and preventing any leaks from coming out of the hose. So overall, I mean, I think it's flexible. I think it works really well. I think if they work on the ends, then they'll have a really excellent product, something to really compete against the Uberflex. I mean, in terms of flexibility, you know, it's soft to the touch, it's easy to clean. There's really no issues with it other than the ends and it leaking just a little bit. So if they just kind of perfected that, I think they would have an excellent hose for 50% of the cost of an Uberflex. So hats off to them to working towards that and sending it out to the community for us to test it. So, and this turbo nozzle worked excellent. I have some video of me cleaning the fence that I have in the backyard. Worked really well. Within probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, I cleaned the entire like 50-foot length of fence, both sides, and it worked really well. So it was like a magic eraser. It just basically went up and down, it cleaned, and it did really well. So hats off to them on that one. So if I were to do this again, and if I had to recommend anything to people, I would just, if you can spend the money, stick with the Uberflex and the connections that I have in the link below. I think those connections are fine. Not to say that the connections that came with the hose, with the Yamatic hose, wasn't bad, but it came with the hose, so you had to buy the hose in order to, to get these connections. So anyway, I think these nozzles are a good buy for $19.99. Yes, $19.99. The hose was $29.69, so a combined total of $49.68. Deal with another $20. I would go with the Uberflex. If not, then I would go for the Yamatic. So thank you, Yamatic, for sending this out and allowing me to do an honest review. I do appreciate that, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.